to alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the USCFL Network, in association with YouTube, presents the USCFL Postgame Show. Here's once again is Robbie Graham.
Greetings, cartoon and football fans. This is Robbie Graham of the USCFL Network, bringing you the action and highlights of Week 8 and the final week of Round 2 of the USCFL's 2025 season as we continue to celebrate our 45th year and 20th year online. If you're joining us for the first time, may we extend to you a cordial welcome, and we hope you'll enjoy everything this channel has to offer. Recently, we got our 130th subscriber. Whoever you are, we thank you very, very much. We hope you'll do what this person did and subscribe to this channel and join our team. Things just keep getting worse and worse by the day. It seems that no one is immune to what is happening except for those that are worth at least 9 digits. I know this is no substitute for anything that's going on, but we must persevere. So please, try to take a moment and take it easy for about 1 hour each week and enjoy one of our videos. Not trying to relax isn't good for anyone. It's free to enjoy, and it might also give you something else to think about. Have the kids watch along with you. There is nothing in our videos parents will find offensive, for we strive to be one of YouTube's least offensive channels by providing a different spin about your favorite cartoon characters from the past and present that doesn't reflect upon their true legacies. If your favorite character or characters aren't mentioned in our videos, please leave a comment and we will answer your questions. Also be sure to ring the bell to alert you of when we put up any new videos. The USCFL is on Patreon, and you can help support us for as low as $3 a month to as much as $5 a month, which averages out to 10 to 17 cents a day. In time, we can offer merchandise and other perks to help show your love for America's oldest fantasy football league. Just like in Week 4, the results of these 2 games will determine who will play who and where in Round 3. In 1 minute, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 15 between the Hanna-Barbera All-Stars and the Fox All-Stars from Charlotte.
Well, in North Carolina, way back in the hill, lived my old pappy and he had him a still. He brewed white lightning till the sun went down, and then you'd fill him a jug and he'd pass it around. Mighty, mighty pleasing, pappy's corn squeezing. White lightning. Well, the G-men, T-men, revenuers too, searching for a place where he made his brew. They were looking, trying to book him, but my pappy kept on cooking. White lightning.
Welcome back. In Charlotte, the Fox All-Stars were looking to go into Round 3 by remaining at home after their victory over Cartoon Network in Game 5, as they held Cartoon Network to only field goals and not touchdowns, while Hanna-Barbera was still reeling from their Round 1 overtime loss to Marvel Comics. In the first quarter, Fox did just that by keeping Hanna-Barbera off the scoreboard. First, Milhouse Van Houten started things off with a pair of field goals. Then Marge Simpson, filling in for an injured Philip J. Fry, scored from 1 yard out to go up 13-0. 2 minutes later, Bart Simpson threw a 10-yard touchdown pass to Glenn Quagmire from Family Guy to go up 20-0 at the end of the first quarter. The second quarter belonged mostly to Hanna-Barbera, as Scrappy Doo, filling in for Wilma Flintstone, ran into the end zone from 47 yards out to trail 20-7. Inside the 2-minute warning, Vanity Smurf put up a pair of field goals to trail 20-13. And Milhouse's third field goal closed out the first half as Fox led 23-13. The only score of the third quarter was Milhouse's fourth field goal as Fox led 26-13. But in the fourth quarter, Hanna-Barbera came back in a big way. In round 1, Wally Gator returned a 102-yard interception return for a touchdown. In this game, defensive end Captain Caveman returned a fumble recovery 89 yards for a touchdown to trail 26-20, with under 12 minutes left to play. With over 4 minutes left, Daphne Blake threw a 21-yard touchdown pass to her castmate Scooby-Doo to go up 27-26. Vanity Smurf's third field goal sealed it for Hanna-Barbera as they won 30-26. Hanna-Barbera will go home for round 3, while Fox will go on the road. As for the stats in this game, beginning with Hanna-Barbera, Daphne Blake finished 17 of 29 for 158 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Wilma Flintstone rushed for 144 yards on 30 carries. Scrappy Doo rushed for 83 yards on 11 carries and 1 touchdown. Scooby-Doo led the receivers as he caught 6 passes for 63 yards and 1 touchdown. Captain Caveman, the player of the game, had 3 tackles, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery, and the touchdown he scored in the fourth quarter. Vanity Smurf finished with 12 points. For Fox, Bart Simpson finished 25 of 43 for 225 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Before he got injured, Philip J. Fry rushed for 46 yards on 9 carries. Marge Simpson rushed for 77 yards on 17 carries and 1 touchdown. Lisa Simpson led the receivers as she caught 9 passes for 90 yards. Bender Rodriguez of Futurama led the defense with 7 tackles, 2 assists, and 2 interceptions. Milhouse Van Houten finished with 14 points. And here is the highlights of this game, courtesy of EA Sports.
Y'all ready for this? Get down with the sound, house on the ground, freeze when I squeeze, drop to your knees. You must obey, I'm in here to stay, ready to take you around the way, so you ready for this? Mind your own biz, cause I am back, yeah, the microphone biz. Need to say, cause it's too limited. Ready for this. Feel the bass, you just get closer, be impressed by the words I chose. So once again, kicking it live, doing everything, yo, just to survive. Above the law, I think I stand here on stage with a mic in my hand, busting it loud into the crowd. The age is 20, I'm from the south.
Be a bard, break my heart. Get ready for this. Mind your own biz. People in the front, show me what you want, and I'll give it is. Get ready for this. We're too limited, so people don't you see? Moving up and down, dancing on the ground, feeling kind of free. Security, how's this sound that moves you from the ground?
House on the ground, raising your face, raising the place, no time to waste. Being hypnotized, I see it in your eyes. Feeling kinda better, put on your sweater. Being black or white, I think it doesn't matter. Super dope, deaf, and even outrageous. If I was the animal that kept me in cages. So, get ready for this. Y'all ready for this?
this. We're too limited, so people, don't you see? Moving up and down, dancing on the ground, feeling kind of free, security. House is a sound that moves you from the ground.
In 1 minute, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 16 between the Warner Brothers All-Stars and the DC Comics All-Stars from Kansas City. Welcome back. In Kansas City, to close out round 2, the Warner Brothers All-Stars and the DC Comics All-Stars faced off to help determine who plays who and where in round 3. In round 1, Warner Brothers lost to the comic strip All-Stars, scoring 47 points in the process. No team since the Disney Bowl format was created ever scored 47 points in a game only to lose. In round 1, DC Comics won their game against Disney, but only scored 22 points. Think about that. Warner Brothers scored 47 points and lost, while DC Comics scored 22 points and won. High plays low in this league, but when it comes to the game featuring the 8th and 9th seeds, scoring really doesn't matter between the team that lost and won. The number 1 and 16 seeds features teams that won and scored the most and lost and scored the least. DC Comics, by this stat, had their work cut out for them, but they brought their A game and had a reversal of fortune. In the first quarter, Batgirl put up a field goal to score first. More than a minute later, Robin ran into the end zone from 61 yards out to go up 10-0. Batgirl's second field goal closed out the quarter to lead 13-0. Wile E. Coyote started the second quarter with a field goal for Warner Brothers to trail 13-3. More than 5 minutes later, Hawkman, filling in for Robin, rushed into the end zone from 3 yards out into the locker room with a 20-3 halftime lead. In the third quarter, Daffy Duck ran into the end zone from 11 yards out as Warner Brothers trailed 20-10. Nearly 6 minutes later, Wonder Woman threw a 2-yard touchdown pass to Supergirl to lead 27-10 at the end of the third quarter. In a busy fourth quarter, Bugs Bunny threw a 19-yard touchdown pass to Speedy Gonzalez to trail 27-17. 2 minutes later, Wonder Woman threw her second touchdown pass to the Huntress from 59 yards out to go up 34-17. Just 46 seconds later, Bugs Bunny threw a 90-yard touchdown pass to the Roadrunner to trail 34-24. That was all Warner Brothers could do. Batgirl's third field goal to extend the lead 37-24. More than 90 seconds later, Wonder Woman threw her third touchdown pass and second to the Huntress from 53 yards out, but failed on the 2-point conversion to go up 43-24. 3 minutes later, Hawkman scored his second touchdown run from 8 yards out to go up 50-24. Batgirl's fourth field goal as time expired secured a 53-24 win. DC Comics will remain at home for round 3 with the number 1 seed, while Warner Brothers will remain on the road. As for the stats in this game, beginning with Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny finished 28 of 47 for 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Daffy Duck rushed for 99 yards on 20 carries and 1 touchdown. Speedy Gonzalez caught 9 passes for 84 yards and 1 touchdown. But the Roadrunner led the receivers as he caught only 2 passes, but for 132 yards and the 90-yard touchdown. Yakko Warner of Animaniacs led the defense with 8 tackles and 6 assists. Wile E. Coyote finished with 6 points. For DC Comics, Wonder Woman, the player of the game, finished 37 of 57 for 361 yards and 3 touchdowns. Robin rushed for 247 yards on 33 carries and 1 touchdown. Hawkman rushed for 21 yards on 7 carries and 2 touchdowns. The Huntress led the receivers as she caught 5 passes for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Joker led the defense with 9 tackles and 6 assists. Batgirl finished with 17 points. And here is the highlights of this game, courtesy of EA Sports. In 1 minute, we will continue our series of player profiles as we will profile a show where cartoons and football really comes together, as we will profile NFL Rush Zone. Welcome back. The slogan for the USCFL is "Where Cartoons and Football Come Together." But in 2010, Nickelodeon, in association with the NFL, made a show that did just that by putting on an animated show featuring the voices of actual NFL players and coaches. And this week we are profiling NFL Rush Zone, a show where, in this case, really put cartoons and football together.
NFL Rush Zone is an American action-adventure animated television series. In the first season, the show centers on an 11-year-old football fan named Ish, who learns he must protect shards of a power source called the Core, hidden at 32 NFL stadiums. The first season ended on February 5, 2011, with a double-length episode. Nickelodeon announced a second season, titled NFL Rush Zone, Season of the Guardians, on September 6, 2012. It premiered on November 30, 2012. The third season, NFL Rush Zone, Guardians Unleashed, was announced on July 11, 2013. It premiered on November 20, 2013, and ended on October 22, 2014. The series ended on an apparent cliffhanger with Wildcard's escape and return, indicating that a fourth season was planned. However, the season ultimately never materialized. Season 1, Guardians of the Core. Ish must protect one or more NFL teams' core shards from the villainous intergalactic alien cyborg warlord and conqueror Sudden Death every Sunday while trying not to be caught by his mom. He protects the shards with the help of OT and the Rushers. Season 2, Season of the Guardians. 1 year after the defeat of Sudden Death, Ish has moved from San Diego to Canton, Ohio, and soon finds his role as a Guardian expanded with new powers and the emergence of the villainous Wildcard. With the aid of his old friend Ash and new friends Troy, Tua, Marty, and later, Ricky, Ish must protect the 32 megacores of the NFL from Wildcard, while also diving into the villain's mysterious past. Season 3, Guardians Unleashed. Wildcard has been defeated, but at the cost of Ish losing his Guardian powers. Having been the first Guardian, Ish is hit hard by this loss, while a newly resurfaced Sudden Death looks to continue where he left off, with 3 robotic aliens called Antiquarians, who have had a sworn rivalry with the Rushers, and perhaps with the help of a now vulnerable Ish. Ish, however, soon regains his powers, and he and his friends have theirs upgraded for the rematch against Sudden Death and his allies the Antiquarians, as well as the returns of Wildcard and Dropkick. As for their time in the USCFL, selected characters from this show are reserve players and haven't seen much action, while other characters are on an auxiliary roster for which all 16 teams have such a roster in the event a team needs replacement players due mostly to injuries. Unless it meets with YouTube standards, the following is a brand new video featuring the Guardians' fight against Wildcard and his minions. If it doesn't, please send us an email at uscflnetwork@gmail.com and we will send you the video with our compliments. Some people might think that it's silly to have a fantasy football league with cartoon characters as the players. But for 4 years, Nickelodeon and the NFL proved people wrong as they put on a show where cartoons and football really came together.
32 NFL teams, the power of each embodied in their megacore. In the wrong hands, this energy could threaten our very existence. The safety of the world depends on an unlikely group of heroes, the Guardians. Enter the Rush Zone.
In 1 minute, we will reveal the answer to last week's trivia question, this week's question, the all-important schedule for round 3, and the first 2 games of round 3. Welcome back. Now for the answer to last week's trivia question. We pointed out that in the SpongeBob episode Graveyard Shift, after Squidward told the tale of the hash-slinging slasher, SpongeBob began to scream and did it how many times in a row? If you guessed 27 times, you are correct. See the episode for yourself and count how many times SpongeBob screams in a row. Now for this week's question. This week's question is a Hall of Fame question. Remember, Hall of Fame questions aren't multiple choice. As a reminder, if you wish to participate in our trivia challenges, please do not put your answers in the comments section, for you might give away the correct answer. Please put your answers down on paper and check back each week for the correct answer. Here is the question. The category is Next Line Please. For this question, we give a scenario from a show and ask what the character says next. What's more, we let the character give the next line themselves. In the Scooby-Doo episode Go Away Ghost Ship, Shaggy and Scooby deals with a ghost sword that tries to cut them in half. The sword gets stuck in a barrel. The barrel leaks, and Shaggy and Scooby puts the liquid in mugs and drinks it. Then they spit out the liquid. What does Shaggy say afterwards? Shaggy himself will give you the correct answer next week. But before we go, here is the schedule for the all-important third round of the USCFL's 2025 season. And that will wrap things up for Week 8 and the final week of Round 2 of the USCFL's 2025 season, our 45th year and 20th year online. Next week, Round 3 and the elimination process begins, when we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 17 between the Dick All-Stars and the DC Comics All-Stars from Kansas City, and the highlights of Game 18 between the Classic Cartoon All-Stars and the Marvel Comics All-Stars from Chicago, along with another player profile in the USCFL. Which two teams will be the first to go home early? Find out beginning next week. And until next Sunday, this is Robbie Graham of the USCFL Network wishing you peace. And now more than ever, take care and stay safe.
All the characters and franchises mentioned throughout this webcast remains the copyright of their respective owners. They were used for the purpose of entertainment and or education, and therefore no breach of any copyright laws were intended. This webcast is protected under copyright and must not be rewritten, re-recorded, rebroadcast or re-uploaded in whole or in part without the prior written consents of First and 10 Productions, the American Association of Animation and the United States Cartoon Football League. Copyright 2024.